Welcome back to the Caddie Tales. I am joined with Kessler Karain, who is the brother-in-law of Patrick Reed and Patrick Reed's caddy.
Yes, that is correct.
How do you find that? Keep it in the family, I like it.
I wouldn't say I found anything. I think it found me, and that's kind of the fun part about it. I was just out of college working for Medtronic, medical device sales in San Antonio, trying to find my way in this world, and then all of a sudden, about November of 2013, I get a call from Patrick, and he says, hey, I need a caddy. It could be 6 to 9 months, so it's gonna be a temporary gig, and yeah, here I am about almost 10 years later. And a lot of things have happened since then, and I've learned quite a bit.
So prior to you being on the bag, Justine, Patrick's wife, who's your sister,
Yes.
was his caddy.
Yes, and I think that's why there was the uncertainty of how long I would be filling in for. But I think once, you know, she had her first baby, my niece, I think mommy mode kicked in, and now, like I said, here I am. So the temporary plan turned into a more permanent plan.
So you must be a good caddy. One would expect that he's...
I would say that, you know, those first 6 months, I'm pretty critical of, you know, he definitely hung in there with me on a lot of things that I definitely got better at now. So I'd say I'm much more confident in my caddy skills now than I was those first few years.
So were you a big golfer beforehand?
Nope.
No, so not a golfer.
I played growing up, you know, but I could barely break 100. You know, breaking 100 was like a good day if I went out and played. But November, when he gave me the call, I quit my job 2 weeks later, and then I had about 6 weeks where he put me through like his own version of caddy boot camp, which in that time I felt like it was more of just us getting comfortable with each other and getting to know him. And sure enough, my second week was my first win as a caddy.
Wow.
Yeah, so I thought I had it all figured out by then.
So what is in Patrick Reed's caddy boot camp? What does he tell you?
So that first 6 weeks, it was just kind of me watching him hit a lot of balls, watched him hit a lot of balls in that 6 weeks. But obviously we went through the etiquette of what I'm supposed to be doing as a caddy, whether like rake a bunker for another caddy if that's what it calls for, like in the fairway. Their player doesn't hit the green. So he's just giving me all those pointers so that I don't look like a total noob out there. And even then, I did walk in one person's line at Pebble Beach the first year I played. So that, I went sweating bullets after that because I was like, that was just the worst thing I could possibly do as like a rookie caddy.
Do you get nervous when he plays?
I mean, not really. There are nervous moments though. If you're about to put on a difficult shot, or sometimes he just gets in the zone where he's looking at like a beach ball size hole in the trees. And he's like, I'm putting the ball right there. And I'm like, all right. And you just got to know when to stand out of the way.
Did you ever see this as your career?
Never. If you told me 10 years ago, I thought, no way.
But you love it?
Absolutely. It's the best job I could ever possibly have.
So take me back to 2018 Masters.
Yes.
How was that caddying for Patrick when he won the Masters? I mean, it must just be incredible.
Incredible would be a great way to describe it. A lot of people think it was fun, and it's not as much fun as it may look because that is nerve-wracking. That Sunday round is all nerve-wracking. But you got to keep your cool and stay in the moment and take it one shot at a time. That was one time where he was looking at a beach ball gap, and I said, no way, it's not the time. And so I often think about that moment and say, like, what if I did let him get it through that beach ball gap? Does he get it through the gap and makes a birdie, or does he make double bogey and then we don't have that jacket? So that's a moment that I go back to for that 2018 Masters. Everything I learned up to that point was for that one moment, and it definitely paid off.
Do you have any funny stories that you'd like to share of you and Patrick?
Man, I'll tell you this. So we played a tournament, the Quicken Loans. He wasn't hitting driver well, and so the driver, it's this close to just being smashed into pieces. And sure enough, we had a couple holes, and this was at Congressional. And if anyone knows the back nine at Congressional, it's probably one of the hardest back nines in golf, in my opinion. And so yeah, he decided to take out a tee box, and the driver was broken and smashed, and just gets left with the shaft and just throws the shaft. And even though we're not happy with what's going on at the time, looking back, it is a pretty funny story because he smashes this whole thing. But the last 5 holes are really difficult and you absolutely need a driver. And we don't even have a 3-wood. We had like a strong 5-wood, so we had this 4-wood. And you know, he didn't like what the ball was doing, but I told the other caddy, Jimmy Johnson at the time, I go, watch, he's gonna make par. That Jimmy makes par. And sure enough, hits some shot near the green, chips on, makes par. So you smashed your driver, made par anyway, but then we get up on the next hole, which is, you know, a really long hole, and I'm like, so 5-wood? And he's like, yeah, 5-wood. He just grabs it, hits it. And I think we shot, I want to say we shot like even par coming in, maybe even 1 under. So maybe the driver wasn't the play the whole time, but looking back, and someone found all the pieces and the driver head and put the whole thing back together and posted it on Instagram, and I couldn't wait to show them. And it was, we look back and we just laugh at that moment.
Thank you so much, Kessler, for joining us on Caddie Tales. I've loved hearing your story. Very unique.
Thank you very much.
From sales to a novice caddy to winning the Masters.
No one could have ever seen that coming, especially me.
Well, it's been awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.